Hello. European dream is it's not even a dream. The European reality is here. I don't even need to introduce this podcast in the normal way because this is well and truly as special as it gets, Maz. I'm joined with Maz right here, mate. How are you doing?
Mate, I am on top of the world, baby. It's an incredible feeling. I'm up, incredible atmosphere, incredible day. How about you, mate? How did you get on?
Yeah, sorry, technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, with the old microphone here. But yes, very good, very good. I mean, you can't describe these sort of moments, right? I haven't felt like that before a game since Wigan, and I stand by that. I think it's the most nervous I've been for a football match. When there's so much riding on something, and I think it was shown with the players. They were very nervy those sort of first 20 minutes. I think that it was really weird atmosphere. It's funny you mentioned atmosphere because I wanted to bring this up later on in the podcast, but I thought it was really flat until sort of the last sort of half an hour or so. Maybe it was just the nerves. Everyone was just so unsettled.
Do you know what? I was actually being nice. I actually agree with you. I'll be honest. Yeah. Even when the goals went in, it was like it didn't really feel. I don't know.
And after the game, it was great.
No, definitely. My perception of atmosphere now is a little bit skewed because I was very lucky to go to the Luton game and the Middlesbrough games up for the playoff semis, and I'm not going to lie, the atmospheres in those games, and I know there was a lot on the line, and to be fair, similarly to us as well, but those atmosphere in those stadiums were incredible. Like, you couldn't hear yourself, and I don't know, it didn't feel like that at the Amex. But look, we've talked about it in the past. We know we're not exactly like the most volatile, cauldron of a stadium. We know
times, that. Like we had it with Chelsea a lot. That Chelsea game was very loud. That's probably the loudest I've heard it. I think actually the one that really did break the barrier, I think, in my opinion, I think it was Sheffield Wednesday in the playoffs back in the day when Dunk first scored. That sort of first 20 minutes. And then also the one I mentioned, the Chelsea game, but also most recently was Alexis McAllister's penalty after at Man United. I haven't heard a celebration as loud as that one. I think that one's probably the loudest I've heard the Amex. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't loud until sort of the last maybe 20 minutes, then it was a bit flat because obviously Walcott, and we'll get onto the goals in a bit, but we thought that was going to be 2-2, and maybe it was just the nerves around the stadium because we've seen it so many times, haven't we, that Brighton sort of throw it away historically. But look, it doesn't matter because we've rewritten history, and I tell you what, Roberto De Zerbi, take your hat off to him because my God, what a man he's been, what a signing he's been by Bloom, and who's ultimately the one to thank in all of this. But we'll get into all of that. To begin with, let's talk about the football because, it was. I don't know about you, Maz, but I was thinking, oh my God, is it just going to be one of them? Because Matoma had, I think, 2 massive chances. Go on.
That one, the one that was stuck in my brain was the one where, he's pretty much one-on-one when the. So it was actually really funny because when they started going ole, all the Southampton fans, they were and then Bednarek slipped and Matoma was in one-on-one and he just put it wide. Like, I thought it was a goal. I was like, I was celebrating, like 1-0 up, and then he's put it wide, and I was like, oh God, like you said, is it one of those afternoons where just things aren't going to go? But luckily for us, McCarthy had a bit of a clanger for the first, didn't he? It sort of went through him. With
Fizz on that shot though. My God, he shot that one, didn't he?
Look, I mean, look, Ferguson's an absolute player, by the way. Like, I just love everything about him. I was saying actually to my mates who I was sitting with, I said to them, the difference, I think, in my opinion, with Ferguson and Welbeck is just sort of miles apart. And again, this is no discredit to Welbeck. It's just, I think it just shows how good Ferguson is. I think the difference up top with him there than any other striker we have in our squad at the moment, I think he's just so good. He's physically so good. He's on the ball, he's brilliant. Even off the ball, the runs he makes. He's just a very intelligent and incredible footballer. So he's strong. He's not he's not Haaland levels, but like he gives me Haaland vibes.
He's that sort of player though. He's that big sort of number 9, very clinical, quick as well. You put Ferguson in that City team, he's probably scoring quite a lot of goals, to be honest, the amount of chances they create.
But, 100%.
I mean, the way he's been playing for us is very good. I think the only thing that I would say about him is just make sure he stays fit. That's my biggest concerns with Evan is he has had a few injuries. Only minor ones, don't get me wrong. He's had a couple of ankle problems, but it's players like him, historically, they're so good and then they get injured and you just don't want them to be out too much and for it to cost them.
What ifs?
Yeah, the what if player, a bit like Tarek, and it's such a shame how it's panned out for him because Tarek. Remember that first sort of lockdown, like those first few games, mate. He was genuinely the best right back in the league for a solid month.
Yeah,
and I've never seen anything like it.
Everyone said about how like Chelsea made such a bad mistake letting him go, and how good he was under at Brighton, and then unfortunately,
he just took on everyone. He was best player. No one could get near him. It was mad. And then unfortunately injuries. It's just one of those. And hopefully with Evan we don't have a similar thing. But let's focus on the positive. Is that it was a good bad goalkeeping. It was very bad goalkeeping actually, but good shot. He struck it well. Straight through him. Yeah. It took me by surprise. I really didn't think that was going to end up in the back of the net. The second one, though, was crafted out of just perfection, wasn't it? The way that Matoma, that outside of the boot, sort of curls back around and perfectly weighted in towards Evan Ferguson, tucks it. It's such a lovely finish as well, by the way. What a goal. Beautifully created by our Japanese maestro, wasn't it, Maz?
Yeah, that was it. No, do you know what it was? So the first goal really sort of settled my nerves a bit. I think I needed that first goal just to settle the nerves a little bit, get us, right. Okay, cool. We're 1-0 up, and then and like you said, the second goal beautifully crafted by Matoma, who actually I thought was really good actually for most parts.
Yeah,
I think that form's really. Yeah, exactly. His finishing let him down, but his general play was really good actually, and like you said, beautiful cross. And a great finish from Ferguson. I think that's what it is with Evan Ferguson. His finishing. We talk about Undav's finishing. I feel like Evan Ferguson's finishing is just phenomenal. He's got
those two
finisher-wise striker's instinct.
Are very good. Like they're very good in front of goal. As I always say about Undav, if you're given the ball in the 18-yard box, chances are he's probably going to get a shot on target. And Ferguson's just that, but well-rounded. He's such a complete forward. He's all over the place. Really hassles so much. And I was a bit disappointed to see him come off, and I'm probably sure he was as well because he probably fancied the hat trick there. Do you reckon?
Yeah, mate. He actually looked a bit not fuming. It's not the right word, but he did look a bit annoyed when he's coming off. 100%. When you're on a Premier League hat trick, and De Zerbi's like, you're off, lad.
It's like Haaland, isn't it, with City? Pep just takes him off. He scored 5. He's like, nah, coming off, mate. It's like, what? I'm going to score 10, mate. Literally.
Yeah, breaking every Premier League record. And he's like, nah, not today. He looked a bit annoyed. But I think, do you know what? I quite like that. I think that shows, again...
Managing him.
A sort of a mentality. Yeah, exactly. He's hungry for goals and he wants to stay on and do his best for the team. But, a great performance for him. And, I was really happy for him to get his brace.
Yeah, I agree. It had to be him, didn't it, really? When you've got him back in the team, we all sort of know what he's like. And for the 18-year-old to score the 2 goals, I know inevitably it did get to the legend himself. We will get to that in a bit. But for Ferguson to really break the ice was really important for us because if he didn't, this game, it could have been different. Because we saw, second 100%. Half, Southampton, I've got to give it to them. I thought they played so much better in this game. And... Then I saw them at St Mary's for a start, but also then I've seen them for most of the season. I didn't think that the game was as cut and dry as the 3-1 suggested.
No, 100%. I think. Do you want to? I don't know if this is like a fact. Well, it's not a fact, obviously. It's just an opinion. But I feel like whenever a team gets relegated, with games to go, the pressure gets off them, is lifted. So they're like, look, we're relegated already, boys. Like, let's just play our football and not worry about the pressures of staying up or whatever it might be, whatever you're fighting for. Those pressures get lifted. So I think, that you could see that in that Southampton team. Like, mate, Walcott just pulled back the years. I thought like every time he had the ball, mate, every time he had the ball, he looked dangerous. And I was like, oh my god, like Theo Walcott's just turning back the time.
Mate, do you know what's so funny you say that? Me and my dad were like, Walcott is just. He's that big name, isn't he? Like the past player, you're like, he's just going to have a good game. I was like, he's going to score. And then, to be fair, we thought he had. But before we get onto that one, we need to talk about that corner. Why are we so bad for set pieces?
I'm gonna be real with you. I completely missed it. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at for some reason. I was looking at the North Stand for some reason. I saw something going on. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I completely missed it. I haven't had a chance to look back.
It was like
I knew
so
it was from
dodgy.
set piece.
It was near post. He sort of flicked it. It was similar to the Undav own goal, really. Those sort of near post flicks. I always think near post flicks are the best way to attack a corner because like they're so dangerous. As soon as that ball's fizzing across, it could go anywhere, and that's sort of what they did. Ward-Prowse's set piece ability is so good, and he's just fizzed it in.
Yeah, mate. Every time he stepped up for a free, do you remember What was it? What part was it? The first half? I want to say no, second half when he stepped up for a free kick. And I was like, oh god, he's going to score.
Yeah,
he's going to score.
I think you're right.
He's going to
score.
score.
Remember, but yeah, I think you're right.
And then I was like, oh my god, thank God. But yeah, we all know what he's like from set pieces. And usually speaking, like from set piece record, our set piece piece record is not great. So yeah, I mean, look, we're not exactly the tallest of squads or tallest of teams, so that's always going to be an issue at set pieces. But yeah, look, it didn't help because it sort of then thought. Like you said, the tide turned, and we just looked like a bit of a mess. I remember there was a period of like 3-4 minutes where
Stupinian, I never slate him ever. I think he's a great player, but my God, he gave the ball. It was about 10 minutes of that game where Pervis just lost all footballing ability, and I was like, "What's going on? What's going on?"
He forgot how to play football for 10 minutes. Yeah.
And then Dunk and Levi, all of a sudden, like I'm raving about these boys as like the best English defenders, and then they're getting beaten on the counter every time, and I was just thinking, what's going on here? And I genuinely thought we're going to throw this away. And I didn't think that it was offside. I've looked at it back and we're talking this. And we've got to keep the same energy because, if it was the other way around, I'm fuming, right? And I think that, that's very, very, very harsh. And it's a different game if that counts.
I mean, first of all, before we get into the offside decision, the finish on Walcott, mate, fair play. Like, just to dink it over still like that. I was like, do you know what? He raced through.
We can laugh about it now.
Yeah, exactly.
We could be like, it's all right.
I'm not exaggerating, Ryan. When that goal went in, I kid you not, I looked, I felt my hand fell in my hand.
Literally same. I was like this.
For a good 30 seconds, I looked at the ground, and it's funny enough. This guy next to me thought I was looking for something, and I was like, no, I've just got my head in my hand.
Just depressed, mate.
I'm fuming here. Yeah, I'm just depressed, mate. Yeah, I'm just about to end it all. I'm going to jump off the Amex in a second, mate.
It was hard.
So no, I had like a 30-second thing where I was like, oh my god, I can't believe we've blown a 2-0 lead. I just can't believe this has happened. And like in the back of my mind, I was like, fair play, good finish from Walcott. But then, like you said, the offside obviously. Because do you remember for our goal, for the second goal, I thought it was going to get reviewed for some reason because like it felt like
foul, wasn't it?
In the build-up, that's it. Yeah, that's it on the other side of the pitch.
Matoma sort of turned his man, and it's
that's
not
the one.
A foul, right? But
That's exactly the moment. And I thought, right, that's going to go to VAR. But obviously the screen didn't come on, so I was like, okay, cool, we're cool. And then obviously for the Walcott one, it flashed up saying VAR check, and I was like, oh my god. This could this could be it. I've seen the replays that you've seen, and look, we're talking minimal, like a toe. But if you go by the letter of the law, if we're going to be like that guy, it is offside. But I know what you're saying. Like if that had happened to us, we'd be fuming. Like imagine that cost us Europe. We'd be absolutely seething. Yeah. So I get both sides. If you go by the letter of the law, it's offside. But
it's just got to be fixed, isn't it? Like it is stupid. Like, these stupid minuscule. You can't. What advantage has he gained in that? It's nothing.
Even if you're talking about like Ryan, like imagine Southampton was still playing to stay up. So like imagine that. Yeah. Like you've gone from 2-0 down to potentially 2-2, changing the game, and they were on top of that point. They were like at 5 minutes, they were really battering us, to be honest. For a little bit of a period of time. And imagine that they're playing to stay up, and then you get ruled out for a toe. So I get both sides, but it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. What I will say is one that's just true. It boggles your mind sometimes as to the decisions in this league. It's just a good job it didn't mean anything for either team in the end. But what I will say is let's move away from the officials. I can't bother to be complaining about officials on another podcast, to be honest with you, especially on a day like this. Let's be happy today. Let's just talk about the performances of. I wanted to pick out particularly, obviously, Caicedo's and everyone like this, and McAllister I thought had a great game, but Levi Colwill looked really composed alongside Dunk. Apart from that sort of funny 10 minutes that they had, sort of the whole team had in that moment. But I thought they just looked so good. And before we get on to the goals and everything, all I want to say is, Maz, he is liking some posts on social media, perhaps suggesting, Levi Colwill, we want you to stay. He liked the post. I'm just saying, I'm not saying anything. But could you see it happening, Maz? Or are we just becoming Leeds fans over Ben White?
Ben White 2.0. No,
he wants to stay.
Yeah. Look, I'll be honest. Like he was, he like you said, he liked the video. Obviously, that you could read it into that what you will. He obviously showed a lot of love to the fans after. Yeah. We're really clutching onto straws here, but he showed a lot of love to the fans, and obviously they showed him a lot of love as well. Look, I'll be real. I'll be real. I just can't see it happening because I think there's been talks that he's very much liked by the whole Chelsea.
It's the money in it is going to be the problem at the end of the day.
Yeah. Exactly, money. And I know they're not... Look, the good thing for us, at our advantage, is we're playing European football and Chelsea aren't, which is obviously a huge draw. However, let's be real. If we're going to be realistic here, most likely, 9 times out of 10, they're going to bounce back next season and they're going to get European football next season. So is he...
Bowley is a clown.
Definitely. I agree with that statement. But maybe Colwill's looking at it. Look, one season out of Europe isn't the end of the world. I can bounce back with Chelsea next season and we can get European football and then go on to potentially Champions League the season after. So he's maybe thinking sort of the longevity for it. Like, is Chelsea a better club long term? You could argue that till the cows come home. But in his mind, he's probably going to have to say, look, Chelsea's a better prospect long term. And is Brighton's success going to be sustained? I think, anyone could again argue that. I personally believe we will have like a long period of success, but casuals might not think that, and your average Joes.
What? I think that there's definitely like talk, if I was to put it that way, of Colwill loving it here. I mean, it's obvious he does. You can't make that up. He clearly does. By the way, just take your phone away from the mic.
Sorry.
But he clearly does love it, right? There's no denying that. I think ultimately what it's going to come down to is the price tags. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be one of those where Chelsea are going to want what? 60 million probably, like at minimum, because they're going to play hard ball with us probably.
Because of Cucurella. They're going to get
Cucurella, perhaps we've got the advantage of saying, you want Sanchez and, he's probably going to leave next season. Maybe there's something in that. I hope that we can, I trust Tony Bloom fully. If it gets to a situation of we could do it, I think we should. Would you spend the sort of regions of 50 million, 60 million on Levi?
That's so mad, because I was literally about to ask you that same do you know what? In today's terms, that's actually not that much money anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the crazy thing. Considering Cucurella was around 60 million, wasn't he?
Look at him.
So, I mean, look, do you know what? In today's terms,
we've got the money
because of his
now.
age, we've got the money. We're going to sell McAllister and Caicedo most likely. Again, I don't want to put words into people's mouths, but most likely, definitely McAllister, but most likely Caicedo as well.
Just expectation.
Nothing, just speculation. But look, we've got like you said, we've got the budget. I think I would pay up to 50 million. I think.
Yeah.
I think I'd pay 50 million. But it's because look, he's only had one full-fledged season in the Premier League, so you're probably thinking, is he worth that? But I would say yes.
To put it on it,
and
by the
people
way, and I think he's a quality player, by the way. I'm not taking anything away from him. But Forest spent 45 million on Morgan Gibbs-White. And I think Gibbs-White's a great player. And I think he's worth the money now. But at the time, they're getting him from Wolves, who's a rival, 45 million for an unproven, I think he's 21, 22. For me, I mean, Levi, the one time I'd break the bank, and I could imagine... I know we've sort of done it on João Pedro, but it's not, we're not talking 60s, 50s, 60s. I think the one time I can imagine Tony Bloom pulling that trigger is for a player that's been here and gets it and has been around the squad, is liked it, and there's no doubts over him here because he's been here for a year, if you know what I'm trying to say. So there's no worries about him settling in, there's no worries about him potentially flopping, because we know he's not going to, because we know he works in this team. So that's the one thing I think that we'd say is, yes, we've got the European stuff, yes, all that. But I think the one thing that we can say comfortably from a purely player point of view is, he's been here before. And I think that could possibly be the one thing, if I was to be Tony Bloom, to say, get him.
Well, like you said, he's got the buy-in, hasn't he? So he knows what he's getting with us. He's already had a whole season under his belt at Brighton. He knows the facilities, knows the players, knows the backroom staff. Like you said, it's all familiar settings for him. And I think the key thing as well, having a naturally left-footed ball-playing centre half like Levi Colwill will be huge to us. So we all know the benefits to us. I suppose it's just convincing him the benefits of coming to us. I suppose it's just, this is what you can get from us. This is the long-term plan.
And taking the money drop probably is the one thing that you'd have to say is, look, you can get more money at Chelsea, but you could probably become a better player here. What would you want to do? Do you fancy a career? Do you fancy the money?
Exactly, and it's the same with like Caicedo, for example. Like the time's on their side. I know as a player you want to develop and you want to get to the top as quickly as you can. But sometimes you got to think like, is the grass greener on the other side? And for example, they're both 21 years old, so they've still got like at least another 2-3 years of development years, let alone their peak years. So. Yeah, look, I know what I do as a player, but I'm not a player, and I know I'm biased because I'm a Brighton fan. But yeah, I think I know what I do. I think if I was Caicedo, I'd stay in. If I was Levi Colwill, I would definitely try and get a permanent deal. But yeah, that's just our opinion, isn't it?
It's funny you say about being biased as a Brighton fan, because I think that even if you were to switch it completely around and say that, I don't know, we were, I don't even know, Chelsea fans, and I don't know, we had a player on loan from Newcastle. Right, completely worlds reversed, where Chelsea are a small club, irrelevant, and we were Chelsea fans, and Newcastle were the biggest club in the world, which is probably going to happen anyway, their money. So, I would say the same thing, purely on career perspective, it would make more sense to go one way or another, because you're going to improve as a player in the process. I think that's the one thing that I always think, but footballers unfortunately don't work like that sometimes.
Yeah. Money talks, Ryan, unfortunately.
And if people were waving the percentages that he's going to be being waived, and I'd probably be, thinking, I could,
You're like, this big spiel, I want to do it, think of the career, and then, money.
It's unfortunate reality of life, but anyway, but it's a good debate anyway. It's a good debate on Levi, and I do hope anyway, to end it off, is that he does stay. That's ultimately.
Fingers
of course
crossed.
I do. I think he's a great player. I think he seems like a good kid, clearly loved by the club. He clearly loves the club. Let's try spend the money, Tony, if you got it, mate. And we'll move on to the sort of latter end of the second half. Obviously, Southampton had their moments, and then we sort of established ourselves again, had a few chances. Yeah, we had a lot of shots, actually, to be fair. I didn't realise how quite many we had. So I looked at the stats. It was something like 23, 24.
Oh, wow.
Which, I didn't realise it was that many. And then obviously we did get the sort of third goal. That was a bit of a sigh of relief. Pascal Gross, how biblical, by the way, for Pascal Gross to hit that. He's the man from 6 years ago, the day before that, where he signed for us or something like that. And then all of a sudden, he scored our first goal ever in the Premier League, and now he scored the goal to equal the all-time record Brighton top scorer in the Premier League to send us to Europe. Not just Europe, but Europa League, because let's face it, we're going to be playing Europa League. We ain't going to lose 8-0 on the Wednesday and 8-0 again. So, Europa League, Pascal Gross, Maz, just what an absolute icon.
Yeah, incredible. Like you say, he's just what he means to this club, and for it to be him to have scored that sort of sealed the result and really put it to bed. I think, like you said, it was incredible, and it shows just by his celebration, like the passion he showed when he ran over to the fans, and it just shows how much it means to him, let alone to us as fans.
He cried at full time, didn't he?
Yeah, it's an incredible team. And his journey as well. Like we talk about, I just want to talk quickly about Dunkey's obviously journey from League One to the Europe in 12 years. That journey, as a club, we love that. 12 years we've done that journey, which is just incredible to think about that. Like we were in League One or like in the depths of the lower leagues, and we're now playing European football. Like that's just mental. Like I remember watching Brighton at the Dean against Northwich Victoria when Jake Robinson scored a hat trick, and it's like I've gone from that, sitting in the fucking family stand in the J Block in Wooddean, to now witnessing European football. Is just mental. So yeah, that moment just meant everything. And I've got to shout out someone who, in a bad way, a chap called Simon who sits next to me. He said, and I quote, before Pascal shot, he goes, he doesn't have a left foot. And I was like, and he just absolutely walloped it with his left foot. I was like, mate. And then everyone in front of us, I was like, can you just say that every time he goes for a shot, please? But yeah. I mean, look, again, left-footed strike, brilliant strike. And yeah, it was just incredible to see what it meant to everyone. And I'm so happy it was him.
Yeah, I agree. He's top top player, and not just top player, top individual as well. I mean, what he's done for this club, and I hope he never tarnishes it with a move to Todd Bowley's Chelsea or something crazy. But what I can say is he's been unbelievable, and he's been an absolute icon. And words don't describe Pascal Gross to Brighton fans, and it shouldn't do to most football fans as well. His stats in the Premier League speak for themselves. He's got 30 or 36 assists, and he's now got 26 Premier League goals. He's also the second highest chance creator since 2017 when he joined. I mean, those sort of stats, you'd think we're talking about a Manchester City player, but we're not. We're talking about a Brighton player who's been seriously so good. But Pascal, what a man. And you're right to mention Lewis Dunk as well, just to add on to that, because that journey, what you mentioned, League One, as you say, it's insane when you think about the short time frame. As you say, it doesn't feel longer you're at the Withdean, it doesn't feel longer I was in school, and you got these people bantering you, saying you're going to go back down to where you belong in League One, and I could call you all out, but I'm not going to, because I don't even speak to anyone anymore. But it's just funny because how it's changed in such a short space of time. We're talking 6, 7, 8 years, and in that time we've become one of the best teams in the league, in the Premier League. I'm having a moment here thinking about it, thinking, oh my god, that's the same time, and in 8 years.
It's only when you say it. Yeah, it's only when you say it out loud it sort of sets in, really, like the achievement this club's, how much it means. And I know there was a bit of talk online. I saw there was a bit of debate between sort of the older fans and the younger fans about, what means more. What means more? Is it like, being on the brink of existence? I know, yeah. But one thing I will say on this, and I hope this sort of like comes out right. I think I don't like this whole comparison thing. It's like, look, all these achievements we've done is incredible in their own way. Of course, look, being on the brink of non-existence, of course, that was an incredible moment in our history. But then equally, making Europe for the first time ever is equally as impressive. So I don't like this whole to and fro between the younger fans and the older fans. Like, let's just enjoy it. Like, I know it sounds cliche, but just enjoy. Don't compare. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. So I think just don't compare. Just enjoy the good times, no matter when they happen. Look, every part of history is incredible in its own way, and hence why it's history. So just enjoy the good times, and each moment is just as biblical and amazing as the other. So just look, let's not argue amongst ourselves. Let's just enjoy what's going on and how incredible this club's been.
It's a shame that it sort of has to result in that sometimes, because you just think like, really, you know what I mean? Like, really, we're really arguing over, what was better over Hereford, over promotion, over League One, over, I mean, how can you compare these
they're all
moments?
incredible
because
moments.
They're different, like,
Exactly.
you can't call, factually, this is the best team we've ever had, right? Because we've got the best sort of athletes, and we've got the best technicians, everything, right?
Correct.
This is the best team, right? But then for us to go and then say, I don't know, our players that perhaps haven't played much for us, like saying Robert Sanchez, for example, who hasn't turned up in the last sort of few games and whatever, and for them to us then go and say, he's better than Michel Kuipers, right? It's true, because he's a better goalkeeper, but for what he's done for the club, everyone's going to have Kuipers. So this is what I'm trying to say. There's no comparison over these moments, and it equally goes back down to Hereford and further beyond. But you're right in saying it all. It doesn't make sense.
And then final thing, just to sort of wrap this little bit up. I think it's so important to remember as well. Like, in terms of online as well, and I suppose anyone who lives online or has social media accounts, look, we can all have our opinions, we can all have our things. It doesn't mean one person is wrong. Like, that's what an opinion is, an opinion. So that's why I always see online, it's like, no, you're wrong. It's like, no, it's just this is my opinion. Like, for example, myself and you, we have healthy debates when we talk about Brighton and what we think is
deep,
wrong.
Though, like, I'm not going to come out,
Exactly. Like, just one message to people that are, those trolls online or whatever. Look, we can all have our opinions. We can all have our differing opinions. We can all agree to disagree. That's fine. But not one person is right and not one person is wrong. It's just you have a different opinion. And also, people come from different eras. Like, like we said, the older gen come from a different era to what we come to. I'm sort of in the middle. You're obviously a bit younger than me, but I'm like in the middle sort of thing. And it's like, I don't shit on the younger people, and I don't shit on the older people.
I'd say you're
like, it's just
you're still in our younger generation. Like you still.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm not that old yet, Ryan.
No, this is what no, but you're discounting yourself from us. I'm thinking, no.
Yeah.
You're definitely like, I know way more people that act
100%.
older than you, and they're like only just the same age as me. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people that are different, right?
Yeah, I am quite immature to be fair.
But anyway, that's funny.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but anyway, yes. Stop arguing with each other, for God's sake. We're in European football.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah,
but what we'll say is, Lewis Dunk. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Lewis Dunk. To top it all off, everything great that's happening at the moment. I don't know if you saw David Ornstein and Andy Naylor has tweeted today that Lewis Dunk is in serious contention for an England recall. How long have we been saying it on this podcast? It would be enough to drive you up the wall, but it looks like it could genuinely be happening now, Maz. It's taken us to become a literal Big Six club for it to happen. But your thoughts?
Yeah, about damn time, to be honest. Look, he deserves everything for him. Like, I've known him since I was like, 21. Obviously, I'm not like, I don't stay in touch with him like that much. But whenever we see each other, we have a good chat, good catch up, and like it's just incredible to see his rise. And yeah, we all saw it. Yeah, of course, I was going to mention that. If you haven't seen it already, Jacob, put the video in.
Roll that clip.
Roll that clip. Now, all joking aside, like I'm so happy for him to see where he's come from, like where he's been and sort of the journey. Obviously, he's had his trials and tribulations, which Crystal Palace fans love reminding us of. But he's come through the hard times, and just to see him get another England cap. Of course, USA was his first one. But for him to get another one, I think just shows his hard work. And I know a lot of people like to shit on him and say he's a standard defender or an average defender. But we as Brighton fans get to see him every week, and we see his qualities, what he brings, not only on the pitch but off the pitch, the leadership, how much the lads love him. Like I even just from watching that little parade at the end, like the chats he was having with the players, his family, his little kids came on the pitch. Like he's everything about him oozes just a brilliant guy, and he cares so much about the club, and committed his future obviously a couple of seasons back now, and he's just an all-round top bloke and a quality player. I think that goes under the radar a lot, and to see him get another cap would be completely justified, I think. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, he's done so much for the club. I mean, he's essentially put us on the map, hasn't he? Really, not through the fact of him being sort of a multi-superstar, because he's not really got that sort of fame like he probably should do. But what he has done is he's been such a solid performer for so many years. Yes, it's come with the mistakes, and people will send the photos of him on the floor or whatever. But the you can't stress enough the sort of, how do I even put it into words, the significance of this man in our last sort of, particularly those 4 years since Graham Potter came in, changed the club, and he went from being that maybe a rational centre-half who's good at blocking stuff but sometimes gets it wrong, to an all-round ball-playing centre-half who can play in so many diverse, very, very unique and very, very sort of first of its kind, should I say, especially when Potter started doing it and when De Zerbi started doing it. It was very new. And Lewis Dunk levelled up, and he levelled up again, and he levelled up again. And that's the one reason as to why, and I'm sure, Maz, you agree, we cannot understand how he hasn't got that England call up sooner, because I know I'd argue personally he was better a couple of years ago than he is probably now. I thought that 2021 season is probably the best version of Lewis Dunk I've ever seen, and he didn't get called up, and then we went to the Euros without him, and I think, to be honest, we could have done with him, to be fair, sometimes. And I think that Maguire, although he's good for England, I'd argue Dunk's way, way better than him. And fast forward 2 years, I'd say, Maguire's out of the question. But I think him and Stones are genuinely two of the best English performers in the league.
No, agreed. No, I think that's the crazy thing, is that people don't quite realise the talent pool, especially at centre half for England. Like going forward, we've got incredible talent. Like I could understand, let's say, if he was a winger, like Solly March, for example. He was on the brink of making an England call up, but then you could argue, look, we've got Saka, Grealish, Sterling,
Foden
Foden, like an incredible talent pool going forward. But when you look at the centre half positions, like you said, Ryan, is there really anyone better English than those two at the moment? Stones, obviously, he's had a brilliant season.
Could make a case for Levi Colwill to be in that mention, to be fair. Adam Webster's been a bit injury prone, unfortunately for him, but Levi,
Yeah.
I mean, if I was Gareth, I'd be looking at him as well. To be honest with you, I'd be
100%.
looking at both of them.
Yeah, and like there's other people that again Palace fans, Mark Gahey bringing him up in conversation and stuff, and I like him. Yeah, I like him. Credit where credit's due, but I just feel like Dunkey, like you said, is probably up there with the at least top 4 English centre backs right now.
Yeah,
so he deserves a squad place at least.
Yeah,
at the very least.
I mean, you got John Stones, Guehi. To be fair, I do rate him. I actually do rate him. He normally is pretty good. Lewis Dunk, obviously. I mentioned Levi Colwill. I don't think that you can put Maguire. You can't put Cody. Mings, to be fair, has been pretty decent for Villa recently. I'll give him that. So
Dyer has been dire.
Yeah, he has been dire. I'd actually say that Mings has dramatically improved, and I would go as far to say I take what I said back about him, because I do actually rate him a bit more now. He's been good for Villa.
Yeah, for Villa. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair. I think he's got to be in there. So yeah, we'll soon see. But point of the matter is, it's a perfectly sort of well-rounded moment as to how it's come about. We've just got to Europe. We have now got an England call-up for Lewis Dunk potentially. Anyway, Maz, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add, mate. But I'm sure there's probably a lot more in regards to the actual fan feeling. But I mean, just players and off the pitch stuff.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, like we touched on it. Obviously, the if you haven't checked it out, make sure you go check out Dunkey's video to Seagulls Social. It is confirmed. He is a Seagulls Social ultra, Lewis Dunk.
Yeah.
So that's confirmed. He loves our podcast. The club captain, by the way, and club legend loves Seagulls Social. So you
should
also
too.
like it as well. Yeah, exactly by default. And then of course Moises Caicedo as well. I actually shouted at him and said, "Are you staying, Moises?"
Saw that.
And he actually smiled for a photo, but I took that as that means he's staying. So thank you, Moises, for the confirmation.
Oh God! As we say about the immature thing, this is them. But we saw.
Yeah, literally, you're bang on. Just basically, if you haven't checked out all our content on socials, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, make sure you do. We were posting quite a bit on there. But no, Ryan, I think, mate, we've done a good job of covering the incredible season. I know we've got 2 more games to go, but City midweek and of course Villa on the last day, which now thankfully, and I'm so happy about this, is a bit of a dead rubber, to be honest, because it doesn't really matter what we do. We are going to Europe, and it's pretty much confirmed that we're going to be finishing in 6th, albeit a 18-goal swing, so which I doubt is going to happen unless Man City and Villa both turn into prime Barca 2009, and we're all doomed. But yeah, I think we should. Mate,
if we lose by 8-0 in 2 games in a row, then fair enough. Play. I'll give up with football. I'll never watch football again.
I'll just stand up and applaud. I think I'll be like, fair play, lads.
I'm on my knees
to win
9-0. My stupid light's gone off, so that's really annoying, to be honest with you. But it is. That lighter was looking nicer though. But yeah, we'll wrap it up. But yes, what I will say is, we Villa wise, we'll do a preview. But come on now, and also City. Come on now, we ain't losing 8-0. Come on, and if anything, Pep Guardiola loves us enough anyway. He'll take it easy. He's not going to put 8 past us. He loves us. He loves the Serb. He loves to see him in Europa. Yes, thank you all for listening. And just to round it all off, really, what a moment! An absolutely unbelievable moment. It should not be underestimated as to how important this is, because it is, in my opinion, anyway, the most fruitious moment in the club's history. It is by far the biggest moment in regards to what this club can achieve. To be able to get European football should not be frowned upon by any means. The only thing now is how we respond from it in the following season, because as we all know, it can also end in tears. But for now, enjoy the moment, because God, should we? It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? And the amount of pain we've been through, not only in the last ever, but also in this season alone, it's been a lot of pain.
Yeah.
The Graham Potter stuff, what we've lost, it's been mad.
To quote Jack Albion, it's a roller coaster. You just got to ride it.
You have indeed, and that's pretty much this season. But everything comes back around, ladies and gentlemen, as we've seen. It is well and truly, it's just magical, to be honest with you. It goes past words. It was meant to be from the start. But thank you all for listening, because that is a very, very good podcast. I've very much enjoyed myself on this one. We'll see you soon.
That was brilliant.
It was brilliant, and we'll do sort of a bigger
comments down
end
below.
of the
Just
season.
we're going on a European tour. Just put that in the comments down below. We're going on a European tour.
And if you think of anything funky as well, go with it. I want to hear some fun stuff because I want to hear some stories, Maz. I want to hear what people have got up to in celebrations.
I like that.
I want to hear some stories. I want to know what people have.
Like that a lot.
If you got drunk, if you didn't get drunk, you don't have to drink. It doesn't matter if you don't. I want to hear people's stories as to what they got up to in regards to celebration. How much fun you've had, because you should be having fun right now. What's not to love? And also say,
love that, Ryan. I love that.
But yeah, we'll see you for a bit more of a sort of end of the season thing once it's all over with Ben as well. Let's be a bit easier and just cruise together, and we don't have to rush together a 40-minute episode. But until then, we'll see you very soon. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Follow our socials at Seagulls Social, of course. And we'll see you after City. Cheers. Bye bye.
Peace.